Leap day. It is leap day, and they got me a package in the mail, and it should clue you in on who it's from there. I'll be opening it with this, the Cold Steel Recon. Alright, let's see what it is here. He sent me a PM, told me it was on its way. So, let's see, some packing material. It appears to be a switching power supply. Switching power supply. Output voltage 30 volts. Holy smokes. Input 3 to 5 amps input current. And yeah, there you go. Let's take a look inside. Said he had some extra credit on wherever this came from. So, some power cables there. And he knows I do some some non-standard electrical work. I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. Some non-standard electrical work here I got to do. So I'll definitely be overpowering that connector. There you go. On off voltage. Of course, fine. I'm gonna have to have to consult the sparse operating manual. So let me hook this up and we'll give it a look-see. Alright, let's test out this bad boy. Now, what this is a switchable power supply, or a switching power supply. I can vary the voltage with the two knobs up top, and I can vary or limit the current or the amperage with the two knobs on the bottom. It takes in 110 from line power in the US, 120 volts, 110, 120 volts, 60 hertz, and converts it to direct current. So what's coming out of here is direct current, not alternating current. So what this is for is if you have hobbies or electrical projects you want to test without hooking up batteries or making sure your connections are correct, especially with diodes. Diodes only work in one direction, so if you have the positive on the negative terminal and the negative on the positive terminal, it won't light up. A couple of things I got here are my yard lights that I have run over. You see the cracks in there. And these are solar powered. You got solar panels up top there, and unfortunately one of the wires for the battery has come off, and I wasn't sure where to reconnect it. First, I'm going to test to see if the LED is still active. So there's a positive red, negative black, and just hook these up. And the battery that came out of it was a 3-volt battery. So what I'm going to do is on the dial here, I'm going to dial it up as close to 3 volts as possible. There's a coarse voltage and a fine voltage, and I'm going to dial it down to 3. That's good enough. What I did discover is that the coarse is very, very touchy, so you really just want to nudge it. There we go. And then dial it up to 3. And you won't get any current, obviously, because the current's not hooked up. So what I'll do is I'll dial it all the way down and then just bump it back up a little bit. Just give it a quarter turn. And then I'm going to test my positive and negative leads. Let's see, my positive leads over here. Put this in frame. And then I'm just going to touch it with the negative lead to make sure that my light does still come on. So let me do that. Negative leads over here. And there she is. The LED is still active, so that's good. Now what I can do too is I can check how much current it's drawing just by watching the amperage. So it's pulling about 0.04 to 0.05 amps. Now I can give that amperage knob a crank and see if it's going to draw any more power. There we go. And nope, it seems like it's maxed out at 0.05. Now direct current's pretty forgiving in that you can probably give it about a 50% increase. So I can probably go to 4.5, and it'll still work without overpowering. But you notice it is noticeably brighter. Probably wouldn't want to run it any more than that. And it has a lower limit, so I'm going to take it down. I think 2 was the lower limit. I tried this before. Let's go 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. It barely registers. 2.1. No bueno. So it probably has a range of about 2 to 4.5. 5 would be pushing it, but yeah, that's pretty bright. So you could probably put like a 6-volt battery. Now a 5-volt battery if one exists. Since this is already broke, let's see if I can take it to 5. 4.7. Let's see what happens at 4.7. Ooh, that's pretty bright. Wow, it jumps up to 0.4 amps. Yeah, it's screaming. So now I probably stay with around a 3.5 volt battery. Yeah, it's pulling about 0.17. It's interesting, the more voltage, just a little bit more voltage, bumps it by, doubles the current. Yeah. So anyway, has to do with Ohm's law. V equals IR. But all right. So that is the circuitspecialist.com CSI CSI 3005 SM switching power supply. And that's pretty much it. Thanks, T. Bare knuckle bump.